Hey, Niels Mahoney here from On Air Coach. We are swishing our way to Oman and Muscat. The beautiful, talented and gorgeous Robin Banks, Programme Director of
Oh,
HiFM. Hello, Mr. Banks.
thank you. Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you very much.
Where'd you get, when did the spectacles appear? I don't remember you wearing.
Oh, mate, I didn't wear spectacles. And for at
Oh,
least oh God, it must have been 4 or 5 years. I was going, well, it's just really early in the morning. That's why that's
ah,
blurred. And look at, and I'm doing that. And then when I tested my eyes, all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, that's just amazing, isn't it?
isn't the first time you put glasses on the greatest experience of your life?
It is.
It's like
It
those
is.
videos you see of children who get little hearing aids in and hear for the first time. It's that,
That's yeah. Well,
it's that moment.
not taking anything from that, and it's
Of
not as
course.
good as that.
Of course, of
Obviously.
course, of course.
But like you're a little bit blurred. I can make out it's you, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
We could have this conversation, but then that is like, oh my God, it's like
That.
HD. It's like fantastic.
What's it like in Muscat generally, and what's it like now?
Now, are you talking about what's going on these
Yeah,
past few
no,
weeks,
why? Is there something
month?
going on? I hadn't really
Are you,
noticed.
or
Is
are
there
you talking
something
about
going
the
on?
weather? Are you talking about the
Ah,
weather or what?
no, look,
Um,
no one likes a show off, mate. No one likes a show off.
I think Oman, we are, as a family, me, my little girl and my wife, we're stuck in a Middle Eastern country
Yeah,
because the airport's been shut. There's no one
yeah,
in, no one out,
yeah.
which to anyone would sound like, oh my God, that's just crazy.
Right.
But it's a lovely country to be stuck in, inverted commas. Um, the Omani government handling it really, really well. A lot of lockdowns, and the people, for the majority, self-isolating, staying away from each other. We've just had our first death in the last 24 hours of coronavirus. And I think there's something like 191 people here who the official figures have been infected. People working from home. I was the first radio station to be 100% working from home. I
Is
just said to the
everybody
guys,
working from home, or
yeah, everybody.
everybody? Wow.
There's no excuse, I think. And I was, God, I watched one of these with a guy from Cool FM.
Oh yeah, Curtis. Yeah.
And he was saying that a load of people are in the radio station. I watched that, and not, it's lovely doing it from the radio station. It feels really weird doing it from my cupboard under the stairs.
Your home studio, Robin. Your
My
home studio. Bloody hell.
In between clothes, there is soundproofing.
Yeah.
But, one of the girls rang me and said, "Oh, I can go into the studio and record my Saturday show." I was like, "Look, there's no point. You're defeating the entire object if you do that."
Yeah.
She does a double-headed show, Sunday to Thursday. Our work week is Sunday to Thursday, not Monday to Friday. And she has a show on her own on Saturday. And the double-headed shows are going out as normal. We do a double-headed morning show. We use clean feeds. My God, it's the first time I've ever used clean feed.
I saw you tweeting about that, and it sounded like you knew what you were talking about. So fair play, you've come a long way, because I had no idea what clean feeds was.
It is fantastic. It is really, really good. I can't big up clean feed enough. So, we're using clean feed. We've got a double-headed show going out in the morning and a double-headed show going out in the afternoon. Yeah. And they're both of those shows are coming from their respective cupboards, under the stairs, wardrobes in various parts of Muscat, and sound brilliant.
And that's what we were saying to a lot of people, because in the first week or so, we saw all these pictures online about my home studio. And as we were saying, people are grabbing all the shit they have in the house and just putting it on a table and, hoping for the best. And anything will do so long as it bloody sounds good. We saw a picture of Ira Glass for NPR in the States doing This American Life in his cupboard. If it's good enough for that dude, it's good enough for everybody, right?
Mate, I was taking some people through home studio setups, and I said the most important thing, there's two of the most important things, and if you haven't got them both, then you're screwed. You could have the best microphone in the world, but yet your soundproofing could be the worst.
Right. That's right.
In the Middle East, we have marble floors everywhere.
Same here, Malta, exact same.
Marble floors, and like behind you, we've got the sort of marble walls.
Yeah.
we've got the marble. It's not marble. It's the.
It's like limestone or something, isn't it?
Whatever is on the. So it's all stone.
Not insulation's best friend. Let's put it that way.
Not insulation. No. So if you've got the greatest microphone and you haven't got any soundproofing, you're going to sound. It's just going to sound horrible. So you know you need a half decent microphone and some bloody good soundproofing, even if that means going in your wardrobe, which is what I was like back in the UK. My home studio was in my wardrobe, in between, you know, my clothes got moved across a meter and my computer, mic, and it sounded great.
Well, we were chatting with Morgan Jones. You know Morgan? Do you know Morgan?
I don't.
You never met Morgan. Morgan's one of the big voiceover guys, right? And he was in his little booth, and basically he showed us around then, and behind him he's got a duvet wrapped around like an old shower curtain rail, and that's how he makes his living. And he's one of the top guys.
Again, one of the same girl that I'm talking about. I was chatting to her about her home setup and doing the show from home, and I said, whatever you do, because I think her first one she did from under a duvet. Yeah. And I went,
she'll sweat to death. Yeah.
Sweat to death.
Yeah, that's right.
She's sweating to death.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be comfortable, sound isolation, and a decent mic. And I went through once when I bought my first mic to do some home VOs. I went through a USB. I buy a USB mic. Mate, if you can get no. And the reviews you see, got, my God, this mic is brilliant. It's the best thing ever. And because we're all laid out in sales, I want to be sold to.
Yeah.
These reviews are selling it to me. I'm going, I'm going to splash £100 on this mic, and I get it, and I plug it in, and I've got good soundproofing.
You got the humming in the computer.
Oh my God, they sound horrible. They just sound horrible. So I've got a nice. Sorry, can't.
No, it's just we were just talking to you, and Tracy's here as well. Hello, Tracy.
All right, Tracy.
She's over the other side.
All right.
We were just talking about when I was saying, Robin's going to chat with us, and we were saying, I wonder how he's getting on in Oman. He's doing really well there. Everything's nice, and I was thinking in my head of where you've been, and you're a bit like myself. Yeah, exactly. You know, there's no point in counting the stations, right? But
mate, I think I read your. I don't know what it was. It was a month ago, two months ago. What it was, but you put a list of everywhere you've been, and I swear to God, I started at the top, and I was
been there. Yeah, and that was being polite.
Do you find sometimes when you put your list down of where you've been, you read it, and you go, yeah. And then you come back a day or two later and you've forgotten a big station.
100%. What I also tend to do is I also tend to leave a few out because I was there for maybe a month and it just looks ridiculous then. So,
no, don't leave them out.
Let's not mention them. So do you have a favorite? I mean, was there a place that you loved or is it, what's the one that stands out in your mind?
I always loved, and I spent 9 months there in Glasgow in Beat 106.
Really? Yeah, I remember.
Because I went up there with my English accent and and going to Scotland.
Yeah.
And everyone told me, well, watch out, Englishmen going to Scotland, doing a morning show. And I had prepared I'm Irish. I was born in Kilkenny. I know a couple of last Gaeilge. I'll hit you with the
There's no need for that.
Mate, there was there was no need for it. We went out every night. True. With the breakfast guys, myself, Ewan McMorrow, Katie Topping, and we just had a blast of a time on the radio. And within 2 books, we beat Clyde within two books.
Yeah.
And we just did the most crazy, outrageous stuff. I mean, we tested out bubble wrap once. I remember talking to John Collins and Bobby Hain, and they said that they were listening and thought I'd actually killed a listener. We tested out bubble wrap, so I decided to get this some listener, some student, and we wrapped him in bubble wrap, and we taped a phone to his ear, and we had him live through the desk on the show, and he was, it's all good, Robin. Whoa, what's happening now? So we put him on his side and rolled him down the big steps in Edinburgh. And all you can do, and then the phone cut out. And then I swear management at that point looked at each other because they told me, and they said, we actually thought you killed a listener.
You're thinking, there goes another one. There's another gig.
Great ratings.
Great ratings.
Great ratings.
Well, I remember we were doing some workshop or something in Glasgow, and you were telling me that you love Glasgow. But I remember you saying when you got there, one of your first things on air was, all right, who do I support? Rangers or Celtic? Yeah. And I thought, that's one of the best introductions to a new market.
Do you know, I was told, and Ewan, and he won't mind me saying this, Ewan McMorrow, we had the meeting, he was my producer, and he went on, I think, to program, I think it was Key 103, years later. Yeah. And he said to me, he said, there's a few things before you go into this market, and everybody always says this market's different. This market's different than anywhere else you've worked. He said, a couple of things you can't do. He said, the first one is a big no-no. You don't mention football. You don't mention Rangers. You don't mention. So I'm writing this down.
Did you hear the word? Did you hear the word "don't"? Did that come into your head at all, or did it escape?
I'm just thinking. Do you know what? There's one or two ways that this can go. Yeah. And my first show was I literally whacked the mic up and, like you said, listen. I'm new in this town. Which team do I support? There's Rangers and there's Celtic, right?
There's a Celtic team. I don't know.
What's a Celtic? They're like Catholics, and the Rangers are blue in the Protestant ones. And there's, mate, the audience loved it. The audience loved it. You and I remember and Katie, my newsreader and co-host, their reactions across the other side of the desk was just this. That, right? So I'm going with it, and the phone lines light up, and they just go, the audience loved it. Within 3 months, Nails, Ewan had a Rangers shrine in the studio, all right? And I was living beside a guy called Bobby Petter, who was a Celtic player, just to piss off Ewan.
Love it.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Best time ever.
But one of my memeries of you was in Atlantic 252, and we were both starting off there, and I was doing Sunday evening or something. You were on after me. I don't know what the hell shifts we were doing. But I just remember I was winding up 15 minutes to go. I'm just winding up in the studio, and you walk in with a paper bag on your head. I'm like, okay. And you just stood there. Yeah, you don't remember this. No, you don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Okay, you stood there with a paper bag, brown paper bag in your head, and you just stood there for 5 minutes. I'm like, okay. Oh, leave him do his thing. He's obviously getting into character or whatever it was.
How did you know it was me? How did you know?
You have this aura about you, Rob, and it's very hard to. It's very, very difficult not to mistake you for someone else. Just about to crank open the last link, open the microphone, do anything. The bag comes off, full makeup, pearl earrings, the whole lot on. I'm talking a full proper makeover. It was a professional job. I don't know where you got it done.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I got the link done or not, but you did the whole shit like that. It's like, okay, good on you, mate. Yeah, that's fine. It was just the drama of waiting to the last link, you know.
That was just left over from Saturday night.
Look, we were kids. We were crazy.
Hadn't been home.
Crazy kids.
Good times, man.
I enjoy Oman. Is it a nice spot? You're enjoying the station. The station sounds bloody great, by the way. It sounds.
Thank you.
It does, though, doesn't it? You'll admit that, though, right? It does sound great.
You know, it's only cocky when you can't back it up.
Correct.
It sounds. Yeah.
It's okay to admit when something is working, and it is working.
Yeah. Whenever I've had a hand in programming. I mean, this is, I think, the second station that it's the first real station that the owner has just gone, it's yours.
Yeah.
And I call it my. Even when I'm talking to the owner, I call it my station.
Right.
It is my station, and we have got a personality lineup from 6 a.m, right the way through till 1 o'clock in the morning. It's a personality. Okay, one of those shows is repeated, but
whatever.
From 10 till 1 at night.
Yeah.
But it is amazing, and I've never. When I was programming in the UK, it was the same thing. I had a personality lineup, all day and into the
I know it's your thing. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And it works as long as you can, as long as presenters get to the frickin' point and get out on the impact. Yeah.
Can you be an asshole boss if you need to be?
Oh God,
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I know, because you have very definite ideas, right?
Do you know what it is? It's quite easy, because when we do, on-air coaching, it's just that it's that presenters know when it's crap.
Of course,
presenters know when it's crap. Yeah. And so you get the good audio and you go through it, and whether they're spending too much time on a link, they know that.
Yep.
They know that.
And they know it's coming as well during the air check.
Coming.
Yeah.
And they know it's coming. And I look and I go, what do you think? And they sit there and go, should have got out earlier. Which part? And they'll tell you, yeah.
Of course.
Because naturally in our heads, if there's a natural out, and it's usually on a laugh, it's, you know, or a point, that's when you hit the button. But our heads think that, well, hang on, it's not finished yet.
As someone said to me once, we all have this alarm in our head, and when the alarm goes off, you should have shut up 5 seconds earlier. You have to beat the alarm almost.
But there's a lot in our heads, and mine too, because I do it. And the easiest thing, you know, when I'm coaching presenters or when we're going through air checks, is, and I'll say it a lot, I go, I do the exact same thing. I've got the exact same thing in my head going, but I want to talk some more.
I think that's one of the strengths of when you're coaching someone. If you're still on air, I think that gives you more credibility because you're still living it. You're still doing it. It's not like you were on air 15 years ago and you've forgotten what it's like. You're still doing the thing.
I tell you, another thing I love doing is like double, triple-headed shows with a lot of people in it, because, you know, you have as a presenter, and this is what I do a lot. You have a point, you start talking to someone about the point, they come out with the funniest out, but yet you don't hit the button. Yeah. And you carry on to what you know, where you think the out is, because that's what you've prepped. And you've kind of said to them, listen, we're going to talk about this, and this, and then the out. But the conversation goes, and then they come out with the, oh my God, it's a gem.
Yeah.
But then when you listen to that back with that team, and you go, that's the out, you know, just take the out. Yeah. And then when the mics close, you know, you can then say to them, you fucked up my out. I was going to do it. It's good. It's fine. You know, let's do this bit again in a week's time, but let me have the out. That's However, right. You know, you've got to know where the out is.
Yeah, it's got to be ready. And sometimes they pop up when you're not expecting them.
Oh, God, yeah, blah, blah, blah. All the time.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk to you because we're big fans, obviously. We've known each other a long time. Blah, blah, blah. And you look great without the makeup. You look great without the makeup. You don't need all that makeup, man. I'm just saying. The family's doing well. Everybody's good.
Yeah, man. Everybody's, you know, when
I came over here. You got a new dog? Well, a recent.
I saw you.
No, I know your Alsatian passed away, and you got another dog. I know that.
We got another German Shepherd.
Oh, we haven't spoken in ages. Yeah, so yeah, I'm all about the dog. I've been building up to talking about the dog. Really, that's what.
Is the dog Annie? Annie's my daughter, not my dog.
That's right. So long as you know the difference, that's the main thing.
I think she's
that's
gone out in the garden with him. That's all right. Oh, where's Kramer? Oh, can you bring him out? Kramer, come here.
We're going to see the dog.
Come here. Up. Come here. Up. I know you don't want to. Come on, see that. Up. Get back. Up. Oh, Kramer, come here.
Right, if we're doing dogs, Robin, you ready?
I saw yours. I saw.
Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Look at those idiots.
Look at these dogs, Annie.
Look at those two.
This is not my dog. This is my little girl.
Hello, Annie. How are you?
Little girl, Annie. He's saying, how are you?
I'm good.
Hello.
I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Your dad's mad, by the way, but you know that already.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I know you know that. I know you know that.
Kramer, come here. I've got to get Kramer up for you. Come here. Up. I
hope that wasn't your stomach.
There he is.
Look at that. A willing participant. He's like,
he talks a lot.
Put me the hell down.
He's a German Shepherd. He talks a lot.
Robin, go get some sleep and look after yourself, all right? We'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
Was that it then? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I'm fed up talking to you now. I've had enough. So yeah,
okay.
I'm trying to be polite, you know. I'll do the Irish thing. You ready? I let you go.
I'll let you go now.
I'll let you go.
But I was all in flow. I had papers and stuff to talk about.
I won't keep you any longer.
I won't keep you. Come on. It's been great.
You have a nice one. Take it easy, man.
See you later, buddy. Bye.